My wife went out clubbing with her male friends and snapped at me. Not happy? Get a divorce. My response made her heart race within seconds. She was left stunned and speechless. I said, "My name is Grant Sullivan, and I am a 42-year-old electrical contractor. I work with my hands. I fix what is broken. I solve problems that seem impossible. But I could not fix what was happening to my marriage, and I was out of ideas. The problem was not that Amanda went out. I have never been the controlling type. The problem was who she went out with. Always the same group of male friends from her marketing job at Summit Communications. Tyler, Zach, and Cody. 3 single guys in their 30s who treated my wife as if she was available. It all started 6 months ago when Amanda was promoted to senior marketing director. Suddenly, she was working late, attending team building events and going clubbing every Friday night. Not with her female colleagues, always with the guys. It is just networking, she would say when I asked questions. These are important business connections, Grant. You would not understand. That last part hurt because she was right. I did not understand her corporate world. I understood voltage and circuits, not office politics and networking parties, but I understood the disrespect, and that is exactly what I felt. Tonight had been the last straw. Amanda came downstairs, wearing a black dress that hugged every curve, heels that made her legs look incredible, and makeup that had taken her an hour to apply. She was gorgeous, but she had not dressed up for me. "Are you going out with the guys again?" I asked without looking up from the basketball game on TV. "Yes, and before you start, it is Friday night, and I worked 60 hours this week. I deserve to have a little fun." I am not saying you do not deserve to have fun. I am saying it is weird that you only have fun with other men. Amanda's expression hardened. She grabbed her purse and her keys with sharp, angry movements. "I have had enough of this conversation, Grant. I have had enough of your jealousy and your insecurity. If you do not like it, then get a divorce." The word stung like a slap. She had said it like a dare, as if she was daring me to actually do something about it, as if she knew I was too comfortable, too settled, too weak to take her at her word. "Maybe I will," I said quietly. She laughed. She actually laughed on her way to the door. "Right, Grant. You are all talk." The door slammed behind her, leaving me alone with the sound of the TV and the echo of her words. I sat there for about 10 minutes, feeling something cold and final settle in my chest. Then I grabbed my keys and followed her. Neon Pulse was the kind of place I never went to. Neon lights everywhere, overpriced drinks and music so loud it made your teeth hurt. I paid the cover charge and pushed my way through the crowd, staying in the shadows near the bar. I found them on the dance floor. Amanda was in the center of a circle, moving to the beat of the music while Tyler, Zach, and Cody took turns dancing with her. But this was not innocent fun between coworkers. It was something else entirely. Tyler danced closely with her, their bodies moving together as they swayed. When the song changed, she spun into Zach's arms, letting him dance close behind her while he moved to the rhythm. Cody was waiting his turn, smiling like he knew exactly what was happening. My wife was putting on a show for them. She threw her head back when she laughed, touched their arms when she spoke, and moved her body in a flirtatious way that made every man in the club stare at her. She was acting like a single woman, and they were treating her like she was available. The worst part was how happy she looked, happier than I had seen her in months, more alive, more confident, more herself than she ever was at home with me. I took out my phone and started recording. Short clips from different angles, clear footage of her dancing with each of them, letting them get close, laughing at their jokes. Evidence that would end all the arguments we had ever had about those Friday nights. After an hour, I had seen enough. I went back to my pickup truck and sat in the parking lot staring at the videos on my phone. My marriage was over. I had known it for weeks, maybe months, but now I had the proof. The drive home took 20 minutes. I used that time to think, to plan, to prepare for what was next. By the time I pulled into our driveway in our quiet suburban neighborhood, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I printed screenshots from the videos and put them in an envelope on the kitchen table. Then, I sat down and waited. Amanda came home at 2:30 in the morning, stumbling slightly in her heels. She was still on cloud 9 from the attention she received, still glowing from being desired by men who were not her husband. She walked into the kitchen humming a song from the club. Then she saw the envelope and me sitting next to it. Her smile died instantly. Her face went pale. I watched her heart race. I could see the panic rising in her eyes as she whispered my name. Grant, what is this? I did not answer right away. I just stared at her. This woman I had loved for 15 years. This stranger who had been lying to me for months. Finally, I spoke. Open it. Her hands were shaking as she picked up the envelope. When she saw the first photo, her dancing closely with Tyler on the dance floor, she gasped and dropped it as if it was burning hot. Grant, I can explain. Oh, really? Because these photos tell a pretty clear story, and there is also a video. I slid my phone across the table and played one of the clips. The sound of the club music filled our quiet kitchen as she watched herself dance with Zach. Their bodies close as they moved together. She started to cry. It is not what you think. We were just dancing. It does not mean anything. Just dancing. Amanda, look at yourself. Look at how you move. How you let them get so close. You act like you were single. I am not. I love you, Grant. I would never cheat on you. You already have. Maybe not physically, but emotionally. You checked out of this marriage months ago. She reached her hand out to me across the table, her tears smudging her makeup. Please, Grant, we can fix this. I will stop going out. I will find new friends. Please do not do this. Do not do what? Do not get a divorce. But that is what you told me to do. You said if I did not like it, I should get a divorce. I did not mean it. I was angry. I say stupid things when I am angry. I stood up and walked to the window, looking out at our quiet suburban street. Everything looked normal outside, peaceful as if the world had not turned upside down. You know what the worst part is? I said without turning around. It is not that you were dancing with them. It is how happy she looked, happier than you have been with me for years. That is not true. Yes, it is. When was the last time you dressed up for me? When was the last time you laughed? When was the last time you looked at me the way you looked at Tyler tonight? Silence stretched between us. She could not answer because we both knew the truth. I already called my lawyer, I said calmly. The papers will be ready on Monday. Grant, please. I turned around and looked at her one last time. I really looked at her. The woman I had married was still in there somewhere, but she was buried under layers of ambition, resentment, and the need to be someone other than my wife. You told me to get a divorce, I said. So, that is what I am going to do. The next morning, Amanda tried to act as if everything was normal. She made coffee, scrambled eggs, and set the table for two, just like she had done 1,000 times before, but nothing was normal anymore, and we both knew it. I came downstairs to find her sitting at the kitchen table in her bathrobe, staring at the envelope of photos. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. I called in sick to work, she said without looking up. I thought we could talk, really talk. There is nothing to say, Amanda. There is everything to say. 15 years of marriage, Grant. Does that mean nothing to you? I poured myself some coffee and leaned against the counter. It meant everything to me in the past. So, this is it. You are just giving up. No therapy, no second chances, nothing. You gave up first. You just did not have the courage to fill out the papers. She flinched as if I had hit her. That is not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fairness? Did I spend 6 months feeling like a stranger in my own marriage? Do you dress up for other men, but come to bed in sweatpants when you are with me? Do you talk to Tyler, Zach, and Cody about things you do not want to discuss with your own husband? I do not do that. Yes, you do. I heard you on the phone with them laughing, telling stories, asking for advice. When was the last time you asked me for advice on anything? Amanda started crying again. I did not realize. I was not thinking. That is the whole problem. You stopped thinking about us, about me. I became background noise in your life. My phone rang. The caller ID showed my brother Jeff's name. I almost did not answer, but I needed a break from this conversation. Hey, Jeff. Grant. Thank God. Listen, I just got off the phone with Mom. She is having some kind of meltdown over Thanksgiving dinner. Something about Amanda's cousin demanding she change the whole menu to fit her new diet. Mom is in tears. I close my eyes. Amanda's cousin, Stephanie. I had forgotten she was coming for Thanksgiving next week. What kind of diet? Some complicated thing where she cannot eat gluten, dairy, sugar, or anything that has been in the same room as a vegetable that is not organic. Mom spent $200 on groceries yesterday, and now Stephanie says it is all wrong. I looked at Amanda, who was pretending not to listen. Let me call you back, Jeff. Is everything okay? You sound weird. I will explain later. I hung up and turned to Amanda. Your cousin is driving my mother crazy about Thanksgiving. Stephanie, what is she doing now? She is demanding a complete menu change because of her diet. Mom is upset. Amanda's expression went from heartbreak to annoyance. Oh, for heaven's sake. Stephanie does this every year. She finds herself a new diet, a new lifestyle, or a new cause and expects everyone to revolve around that. Maybe you should call her and say what? That she is being unreasonable. You know how Stephanie gets when someone questions her choices. I knew exactly how Stephanie got. Amanda's cousin was 35 years old and had never kept a job for more than 6 months, had never had a relationship that lasted more than a year, and had never met a trend she would not adopt only to abandon it 3 months later. She lived off trust fund money from her deceased father and spent her time traveling, finding herself and complicating everyone's life. She is family, Amanda said. Your family. She is a spoiled child who thinks the world should cater to her every whim. The irony was not lost on me. Amanda describing someone else as being attention-seeking and demanding. It was almost funny, almost. I'm going to call my mother and tell her to make whatever she wants, I said. Stephanie can eat or not eat. Grant, you cannot do that. She is my cousin. It will cause a huge fight. So let her fight. Let her throw a tantrum. Maybe it is time someone said no to Stephanie. Amanda looked at me as if I had suggested burning the house down. You do not understand. Stephanie does not just throw tantrums, she holds grudges. She will make Thanksgiving miserable for everyone as opposed to making it miserable for my mother, who has been cooking for this family for 40 years. That is different. How is it different? Because your mother can handle a little stress. Stephanie is sensitive. Sensitive? Amanda, she is a 35-year-old woman who has never had to deal with real responsibilities in her life. Maybe a little stress would do her some good. You are cruel. I am realistic, and I am done enabling people who think the world revolves around them. The words hung in the air between us. Amanda understood the double meaning. We were no longer just talking about Stephanie. I should call her, Amanda finally said. Try to smooth things over. Do whatever you want. I am calling my mom to tell her she does not have to change a thing. I went into my office and closed the door. My mother answered on the second ring. Grant, honey, I am so glad you called. I do not know what to do about this Thanksgiving situation. Mom, do what you want to do. Cook the same meal you have been cooking for 20 years. If Stephanie does not like it, she can order a pizza. But Amanda says a lot of things. It is your house, your kitchen, your holiday. Do not let anyone bully you into changing everything at the last minute. There was a long silence. Are you and Amanda having problems, sweetheart? My mother had always been perceptive. Too perceptive. We are going through some things right now. Do you want to talk about it? Not yet, but Mom, do not change your menu. Stephanie is an adult. She can figure out how to feed herself for a single meal. Okay, honey, if you are sure, I am sure. I hung up and sat in my office chair staring at the wall. Through the door, I could hear Amanda on the phone with Stephanie, her voice getting higher and more stressed with every passing minute. 25 minutes later, Amanda burst into my office. Stephanie is furious. She says if we cannot accommodate her dietary needs, she is not coming at all. Good. Good? Grant, she is family. She is a manipulative child who uses emotional blackmail to get what she wants. Maybe missing a family dinner will teach her that the world does not revolve around her wants and needs. I cannot believe you are being so heartless. I am not heartless. I am honest. Your cousin is 35 years old, Amanda. She is not a victim. She is not fragile. She thinks she is entitled to everything, and everyone encourages her because it is easier than dealing with her tantrums. She has been through a lot. She has not been through anything. She has had every advantage, every opportunity, every safety net that most people can only dream of. The only thing she has been through is a life without consequences. Amanda's face was red with anger. You do not know what you are talking about. No. Tell me one time. Just one time when Stephanie faced a real consequence for her behavior. Tell me about a job she lost where she did not blame her boss, about a relationship that ended where she did not blame the guy, about a situation where she took responsibility instead of playing the victim. Amanda opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. She could not find any examples because there were none. That is what I thought, I said. You are unfair. I am realistic. Just like I was realistic last night when I told you I was done pretending everything was fine in our marriage. The urge to fight left her suddenly. She slumped against the doorframe, looking defeated. So this is really happening? You are really going to leave me? I am getting a divorce. Whether I leave or you leave is up for discussion. This house is mine too. It is ours, and we will figure out how to handle it fairly. But Amanda, I am done being married to someone who treats me like an inconvenience. She started crying again, but this time I did not feel pity for her. I felt relieved. For the first time in months, I was completely honest about how I felt, and it was liberating. I do not want to lose you, she whispered. You already lost me. You just did not notice. Monday morning brought 2 phone calls that changed everything. The first came from my lawyer confirming that the divorce papers were ready. The second came from my best friend Alex Rivera asking if I wanted to get lunch. Alex and I had been friends since high school. We had been best men at each other's weddings, coached the kids in baseball together, and shared a beer every Friday night for 20 years. If anyone could understand what I was going through, it would be Alex. We met at Angelo's, a small Italian place downtown, where we had lunch. Alex was already there when I arrived, looking uncomfortable in a way I had never seen him before. You look terrible, he said as I sat down. Thanks, you are a true friend. Grant, we need to talk. Something in his tone made me pause. About what? Alex fiddled with his napkin without meeting my gaze. About Amanda. About what happened Friday night. My blood ran cold. What about Friday night? Look, I was not going to say anything, but Maria thinks I should. She says it is not right to keep secrets between friends. Maria was Alex's wife, and she was usually right about those things, but I had a feeling I was not going to like what came next. Say it, Alex. Maria was at Neon Pulse on Friday night, a girls' night out with her sister. She saw Amanda there. I know Amanda was there. That is not news. She saw what Amanda was doing, how she was acting with those guys from her job. I stared at him. And Maria called me Saturday morning upset. She said it looked bad, Grant, really bad. Like Amanda was available. She was dancing with coworkers. She was moving in a very intimate way. Maria said it looked inappropriate for a married woman. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Even though I had seen it myself, hearing it from someone else made it real in a way seeing it had not. Why are you telling me this? Because you are my friend, and friends do not let their friends get played. Maria wanted to call you on Saturday, but I told her to wait. Let me handle it. Handle it how? Alex finally looked at me. By telling you that if you do not do anything about it, everyone is going to know that your wife is on the market. Everyone already knows. Maria told her sister told her husband. It is going to spread, Grant. You know how this town is. I knew exactly how this town was. Gossip traveled faster than the internet, and reputations could be destroyed in a weekend. What do you think I should do? Talk to her. Set boundaries. Make it clear that this behavior is not acceptable. I almost laughed. I tried to talk to her. She told me that if I did not like it, I should get a divorce. Alex's eyebrows shot up. She said that. Friday night, right before she left for the club. So what are you going to do? I am getting a divorce. The words came out flat and final. Alex looked at me as if I had announced I was joining the circus. Are you serious? Deadly serious. I filed the papers this morning. Come on, Grant. Do you not think you are overreacting? I mean, dancing is not cheating. It is not about dancing, Alex. It is about disrespect. It is the fact that she chooses to be intimate with other men instead of working on our marriage. It is the fact that she tells me to get a divorce as if she is daring me to do it. But divorce is pretty extreme, right? Would you be okay with it if Maria acted like that? Alex stayed silent for a long time. No, I would not be. Then why should I be okay with it? Because you have been together for 15 years. That has to count for something. It counts for something. It counts as 15 years of my life that I cannot get back. Our food arrived, but neither of us touched it. The conversation had ruined my appetite. Look, Alex said finally, maybe I am not the right person to give advice on this. Maria and I have never had this kind of problem. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just that maybe you should think about therapy or something before you blow up your whole life. My whole life, Alex? My wife is emotionally distant with me and crossing serious boundaries with multiple men, and when I confronted her about it, she told me to get a divorce. How does ending this relationship blow up my whole life? Because divorce is a mess, Grant. It is expensive, it is complicated, and it changes everything. Your friends, your family, your whole social circle, everything gets divided. Are you saying you are taking Amanda's side? I am saying there are no sides. This is about not wanting to see you make a mistake you will regret. But something in his tone suggested it was very much about sides, and I was starting to get the feeling I knew which side he was on. You think I am making a mistake? I think you are hurt and angry, and people make bad decisions when they are hurt and angry. So I should just accept being disrespected in my own marriage. I think you should try harder to fix it before giving up. Try harder, Alex. I have been trying for 6 months. I have had conversations, I have made requests, I have explained how I felt. Nothing changed. On the contrary, it got worse. Maybe you were not trying the right way. The comment stung because it implied that Amanda's behavior was somehow my fault, that if I had been a better husband, she would not have needed the attention of other men. What is the right way, Alex? What should I have done differently? I do not know. Maybe be more supportive of her career. Maybe try to better understand her world. Her world? You mean the world where married women cross lines with single guys in nightclubs? That is not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Alex sighed and pushed his plate away. Look, forget what I said. You are going to do what you are going to do. You are damn right I am. And if my friends cannot support me through the hardest thing I have ever been through, then maybe they are not really friends. Grant, come on, do not be like that. Like what, honest, direct? Sorry if that makes you uncomfortable, Alex, but I am done pretending everything is fine when it is not. I stood up and threw a $20 bill on the table. Thanks for lunch, and thanks for letting me know where I stand. Grant, wait. But I was already walking away. Reaching the door, I heard Alex call out to me. You are making a mistake, Grant. You are going to regret it. I turned around one last time. The only thing I regret is wasting 15 years with someone who did not appreciate what she had. The drive home gave me time to think about the conversation. Alex's reaction bothered me more than I wanted to admit. We had been friends for 25 years, and I expected him to have my back. Instead, he had basically told me to accept the disrespect and try harder to please my wife who had crossed serious lines. But maybe that said more about Alex's marriage than mine. Maybe he was so used to compromising and adapting that he could not imagine standing up for himself. Or maybe he feared that if I got divorced, Maria might start getting ideas about her own options. Either way, I was learning that crisis reveals character, and the character of some people was not what I thought. When I got home, Amanda was waiting for me in the kitchen with red eyes and a determined expression. I called Stephanie, she said. I told her she needed to be more flexible for Thanksgiving dinner. Good job. I also called Tyler, Zach, and Cody. I told them I could not hang out with them outside of work anymore. I looked at her. Why? Because you are right. My behavior was inappropriate. I was so caught up in the feeling of being important and desired that I forgot what really mattered. And what really matters? You, us, our marriage. I wanted to feel something. Relief, hope, forgiveness. Instead, I felt tired. It is too late, Amanda. No, it is not. People make mistakes, Grant. They learn. They do better. I can do better. You can do better with someone else. I do not want someone else. I want you. You should have thought about that before you told me to get a divorce. I was angry. People say things they do not mean when they are angry. Oh, really? Because I think angry people say what they really mean. I think when you told me to get a divorce, you were honest for the first time in months. Amanda's face fell. That is not true. Yes, it is. Be honest, Amanda, really honest. Are you happy in this marriage? She opened her mouth to say yes, then stopped. The silence stretched between us. That is what I thought. I said, me neither. Maybe divorce is the kindest thing we can do for each other. Grant, please, can we not at least try therapy? Why? So a therapist can tell us what we already know, that we drifted apart, that we want different things, that we are no longer compatible? So we can learn to be compatible again? You cannot learn compatibility, Amanda. Either it clicks or it does not click, and we do not click. We have not clicked for a long time. She started crying again, but this time it seemed different. Less desperate, more resigned, as if she finally accepted what we both knew to be true. So this is it, 15 years, and we just give up. We are not giving up. We are being honest, and sometimes honesty means admitting that something is not working. I walked over to the kitchen counter where I had left the divorce papers. These are for you. You have 30 days to respond. She took the papers with trembling hands, but did not look at them. I love you, Grant. I know. I love you too, but sometimes love is not enough. 2 weeks later, I was installing new wiring in a commercial building downtown when my phone rang. The caller ID showed the name of my brother Jeff, but when I answered, he sounded furious. Grant, what the hell did you do? What are you talking about? Amanda called Stephanie crying, saying that you were cruel and unreasonable about Thanksgiving. Now Stephanie is telling everyone that you are having some kind of breakdown and that you are taking it out on the family. I put down my wire strippers and stepped outside to talk in private. Stephanie is telling everyone what? That you are abusive towards Amanda, that you are trying to isolate her from her family, that you are having a midlife crisis, and that you blame everyone for your problems. That is nonsense, Jeff. Oh yeah? Because from where I am sitting, it looks like you are blowing up your marriage because your wife went dancing. Went dancing? Is that what Amanda told you? She said you followed her to a club and took pictures like some kind of stalker. She said you are asking for a divorce because she has male friends. I felt my anger rise. Amanda was manipulating the story, making me look like a controlling psychopath while painting herself as a victim. Did she mention that she was crossing boundaries with her male friends? Did she tell you about the inappropriate behavior and the way she was acting like a single woman? She said you were overreacting, that it was just innocent dancing, and that you were jealous because she was having fun without you. Innocent dancing, Jeff. I have a video. A video? Damn it, Grant. That makes things worse. What kind of husband films his wife in secret? The kind whose wife is emotionally distant and then lies about it. Emotional distance. Come on, man. That is not even a real thing. I stared at the phone. Not a real thing. So if Maria went out to dance intimately with other men every weekend, you would be okay with that? That is different. Maria would not do that. Why would she not do it? According to you, it is just innocent dancing. Jeff stayed silent for a moment. Look, maybe Amanda made some mistakes, but divorce, do you not think that is extreme? You know what is extreme? Having 3 of my oldest friends call me in 2 weeks to tell me I am overreacting to my wife's behavior. What is extreme is that everyone takes her side without even asking for my side of the story. We are not taking sides. You called to yell at me based on what Amanda and Stephanie told you. Did you ask to see the video? Did you ask what really happened? No, you just assumed that I was wrong and that she was right. Grant, calm down. Do not tell me to calm down. I am sick of being calm. I am sick of being reasonable. I am sick of everyone expecting me to accept disrespect and call it a marriage. No one is asking you to accept disrespect. Yes, that is exactly what you are doing. You are asking me to ignore my wife's inappropriate behavior because addressing it makes people uncomfortable. I am asking you to work on your marriage instead of giving up at the first sign of trouble. First sign of trouble, Jeff. This has been going on for 6 months. 6 months of late nights, secret phone calls, and weekends spent with other men. 6 months where I try to talk to her, and I am told I am jealous and controlling. This is not the first sign of trouble. It is the last straw. I could hear Jeff sighing on the other end of the line. What do you want me to say, Grant? I want you to say that you understand why I am upset. I want you to say that if you were in my shoes, you might make the same choice. I want you to act like my friend instead of Amanda's defense attorney. I am your friend. That is why I am trying to stop you from making a mistake. The mistake was staying married to someone who does not respect me. The mistake was caring more about keeping the peace than standing up for myself. The mistake was thinking my friends would support me when I finally decided to do something about it. Jeff, I have to go. I have work to finish. I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking with anger and frustration. In 2 weeks, I had lost 3 friendships and gained a reputation as an unstable husband who was overreacting to normal marital problems. The worst part was that I was starting to doubt myself. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe divorce was too extreme. Maybe I should try therapy or separation or just learn to live with a woman who needed the attention of other men. But then I remembered the way Amanda looked on that dance floor. How alive and happy she was with Tyler, Zach, and Cody. How she had never looked at me that way, not even at the beginning of our relationship. And I remembered those words. If you do not like it, then get a divorce. She had given me permission. Damn it. She had dared me to do it. And now that I was actually doing it, everyone was acting like I was the bad guy. My phone rang again. This time it was Alex. Grant, I just talked to Jeff. He said you guys argued. We had a disagreement about my marriage. Apparently, everyone has an opinion on what I should do with my life. Look, maybe we came down a little hard, but we are worried about you, man. You are not acting like yourself. How am I supposed to act? Alex, happy, grateful? Should I thank Amanda for showing me how little respect she has for our marriage? You should try to fix things instead of running away. Running away? I am 42 years old, Alex. I am not running away from anything. I am walking away from a situation that is toxic and unhealthy. Marriage is supposed to be for better and for worse. It is also supposed to be about love, honor, and respect. When those things are gone, what is left? The commitment, the loyalty, the promise you made to each other. She broke that promise when she started acting like a single woman. I am just making it official. Alex stayed silent for a long time. What if you are wrong? What if you are throwing away something good because you are already hurt and you are not thinking clearly? Then I will handle the consequences. But Alex, I would rather be wrong to leave than be wrong to stay. What is that supposed to mean? It means I would rather regret ending my marriage than regret wasting more years in a marriage that makes me miserable. Amanda makes you miserable. Amanda ignoring me makes me miserable. Amanda choosing other men over me makes me miserable. Amanda treating me like an inconvenience in my own life makes me miserable. Did you tell her that? I told her everything, Alex, multiple times. Nothing changes. On the contrary, it gets worse because now she knows exactly what bothers me, and she does it anyway. Maybe she does not know how to change. Maybe she does not want to change. Maybe she likes the attention and the drama and the feeling of being desired by multiple men. Maybe she is not the person I thought I married. People grow and change, Grant. It is normal. Growth is normal. Disrespect is not. And I am done trying to figure out the difference. I hung up and turned off my phone. I needed to finish this job without any more interruptions from people who thought they knew what was best for my life. But while working, I could not stop thinking about the conversations. 3 friends, 3 variations of the same message. I was wrong. Amanda was the victim, and I had to try harder to save my marriage. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was too harsh, too unforgiving, too quick to give up. Maybe 15 years of marriage deserved more than 2 weeks of reflection. Or maybe I was finally doing what I should have done months ago. Maybe I was finally standing up for myself instead of trying to keep everyone happy. Either way, there was no turning back now. The papers were filed, the lawyers involved and my friends had chosen their sides. All that was left was to go all the way. That evening, I came home to find Amanda's car in the driveway along with 2 others I did not recognize. When I walked into the house, I found Amanda sitting at the kitchen table with Stephanie and a woman I had never seen before. Grant, Amanda said, standing up quickly. This is Dr. Karen Lee, a marriage counselor. Stephanie thought it might help if we talked to a professional. I looked at the 3 women staring at me expectantly. Stephanie had a smug expression which suggested she thought she was saving the situation. Dr. Lee looked professional but cautious. Amanda looked hopeful and desperate. I did not agree to therapy, I said. I know, said Amanda quickly, but Dr. Lee was available tonight, and I thought that maybe if you just talked to her for a few minutes, you would. You set a trap for me, trying to save our marriage by bringing in reinforcements. Stephanie spoke up. Grant, you are being unreasonable. Amanda made a mistake, but she is trying to fix it. The least you can do is listen to what a professional has to say. I turned to Stephanie. I really looked at her. She was 35 years old and had never been married, had never kept a steady job, and had never faced a real consequence in her life. And she was giving me advice on marriage. Stephanie, with all due respect, what qualifies you to give advice on marriage? Her face turned crimson red. I do not need to be married to see that you are being cruel to someone who loves you. Cruel. I am being honest. Maybe you should try it someday. What is that supposed to mean? It means you have spent your entire adult life avoiding responsibilities and consequences. You quit your jobs when they get hard. You end relationships when they require compromise. And you expect everyone to adapt to your ever-changing needs. You are the last person who should be giving advice on commitment. Grant, Amanda gasped. You cannot talk to her like that. Why not? Because she is sensitive. Because she cannot bear to hear the truth about her behavior. Dr. Lee cleared her throat. Perhaps we should focus on. No, I said, cutting her off. I am not doing this. I did not agree to therapy. I did not agree to this ambush, and I am not going to sit here and be lectured by people who think they know what is best for my life. I turned to leave, but Stephanie's voice stopped me. You are going to regret it, Grant. You are going to lose the best thing that ever happened to you because you are too proud to admit you are wrong. I turned around slowly. You know what I regret, Stephanie? I regret 15 family dinners where everyone walked on eggshells because of your moods. I regret 15 years of vacations ruined by your demands and your whims. I regret 15 years watching Amanda enable your selfishness because it was easier than dealing with your drama. Grant, stop, said Amanda, but I was just getting started. You want to know what is cruel, Stephanie? Cruel is expecting a 60-year-old woman to change her entire Thanksgiving menu at the last minute because you decided to try a new diet. Cruel is holding your family hostage with emotional manipulation every time you do not get what you want. Cruel is being 35 and still acting like a spoiled child. Stephanie's mouth dropped open. No one had ever spoken to her like that before. And you? I said, turning to Amanda. You enabled all of this. You made excuses for her behavior. You accommodated her demands, and you taught her that throwing tantrums works, just like you expected me to accommodate your inappropriate behavior with your coworkers. It is not the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. It is a matter of respect, Amanda. It is treating the people who love you with basic consideration. And you both forgot how to do that. Dr. Lee tried again. Mr. Sullivan, I understand that you are upset, but perhaps we could. Dr. Lee, I am sure you are very good at your job, but this marriage is over. It was over the night my wife told me to get a divorce if I did not like her behavior. Everything that has happened since has just been a confirmation. I walked to the door, then I stopped and turned around one last time. Amanda, you have 2 weeks to decide if you want to keep the house or sell it. After that, my lawyer will decide for you. Grant, please. And Stephanie, the next time you want to give someone advice on their marriage, maybe try having one first. I walked out of my own house and drove to a hotel. It was time to start my new life. 3 days later, I was having breakfast in a diner near my hotel when my phone rang. The caller ID showed my mother. Hi, Mom. Grant. Honey, what is going on? Amanda called me, crying to tell me that you moved out and that you do not want to talk to her. I closed my eyes. Did she tell you why I moved out? She said you guys had a fight because she was going out with friends from work. Mom, it is more complicated than that. I am sure it is, my heart. But do you not think you should come home and fix things? Marriage is making compromises. It is also about respect. And Amanda does not respect me, nor our marriage. Oh, honey, I am sure that is not true. Amanda loves you. Loving someone and respecting them are two different things. Mom, there was a pause. Do you want to tell me what really happened? So I did. I told her about the 6 months of late nights and secret behavior. I told her about the dancing and the inappropriate closeness. I told her about Amanda's dare and my decision to take her at her word. When I finished, my mother stayed silent for a long time. Oh, Grant, I am so sorry. You do not think I am overreacting. I think you are hurt, and I think you have every right to be. The relief I felt was immense. Finally, someone who understood. Your father and I had our problems, she continued. But he would have never treated me like Amanda treats you, and I would have never disrespected him like that. Everyone else thinks I should try harder to save the marriage. Everyone else is not married to Amanda. You are or you were. And if you say it is not working, then it is not working. I feel like I am giving up. Honey, you cannot give up on something that was already over. You are just making it official. We talked for another 20 minutes. By the time I hung up, I felt better than I had in weeks. My mother's support meant everything to me, but my good mood did not last long. An hour later, I received a call from my lawyer. Grant, we have a problem. Amanda hired Natalie Brooks. I recognized the name the second my lawyer said it. Natalie Brooks, the kind of divorce lawyer who does not negotiate, she hunts. 2 days later, she proved it by filing a temporary restraining order that depicted me as a dangerous abuser and kicked me out of my own life. But they went too far. I did not panic. I compiled the facts, the recordings, the club footage, and the phone records to which I legally had access. The real flaw in their story was a text message thread where Amanda and Stephanie admitted that the restraining order was not about safety. It was a matter of leverage and money. The next morning, Jeff called in secret and apologized. He had heard the guys Amanda danced with laughing about me and treating her like a trophy. And he finally understood that I was not the villain of the story. I was the target. That afternoon, Brooks withdrew the restraining order to avoid exposure in court. 2 weeks later, back home, I found a card from Tyler and a photo from another night out clubbing. That is when the pain stopped and the end began. Tomorrow, I will start over alone but free. Comment. This story really made me reflect, and I hope it did the same for you. Self-respect is something we should never compromise in any relationship. Setting healthy boundaries shows others exactly how we deserve to be treated. Taking responsibility for your own happiness is one of the bravest things you can do. Sometimes, walking away is the only way to begin real healing. Choosing peace over constant drama can transform your entire life. I encourage you to look honestly at the relationships in your life right now. You deserve to feel valued, safe, and respected every single day. It's never too late to start putting your well-being first in a healthy way. Keep moving forward with kindness toward yourself and the courage to choose better. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.